Welcome back to Parking Lot Takes. I'm Brandon. That's Christian.
And Sinners might be over.
Yes, it is.
But in the merry month of freaking May, bro. From me home I started, left the girls at tomb, nearly broken-hearted, salute to Father dear. Kiss me, darling mother, drank a pint of beer, me grief and tears to smother enough to reap the corn. Leave where I was born, cut the stock by thorn to banish ghost to goblins, a brand new pair of brogues, rattling over the bogs, frightening all the dogs, and the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5! Sinners might be over. You need to see the movie to get that.
Oh, you need to see that to get that. That's all the context.
Slight spoilers, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, shoot. I didn't think about that.
It's not a big
necessarily,
spoiler.
no.
But I love Rocky Road to Dublin. I knew that old Irish trad is my love language.
You would have no idea what context that is watching a trailer.
It's so cool.
It's so good, though.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about Sinners.
We are.
But at the end of this episode, so we're going to get into some new news. Then we're going to talk about a little bit of Last of Us.
Yeah.
We're going to get into Sinners. Man, well, real quick, how was your week?
It was good. So I traveled over the weekend.
Nice.
So
It was Easter's.
It was Easter's.
Diarrhea.
It's Easter's. Great film. Nacho Libre. And great film. I say film on purpose. Yes, I traveled over Easter. Me and my fiance went to see her family. We were looking at some wedding venues. We were checking some stuff out. It was good. We had a really good time. Just spent some time with family. I will say, we did go see a movie. Nothing new and fresh, but we did see a classic. We went and saw, for the 20th anniversary, Pride and Prejudice.
Nice.
So it's Audrey's favorite movie.
Yeah.
All time.
Before you do this, can I tell you a really funny story?
Yes, please.
So you told me that a minute ago. I asked what Audrey, on the pod, I asked her what her favorite movie was, and you said Pride and Prejudice.
Yes.
You absolutely said that. I don't know why I heard Princess Bride, so I went and watched Princess Bride, and then for the next 3 months, genuinely thought Pride and Prejudice was Princess Bride.
Oh, that's wild.
And so when you texted me after, I'm like, Princess
Bride? Oh, because of what I said.
Yeah. I was like,
that's crazy.
Interesting. But I'm wrong, so.
Yeah, very, very different movie.
You want to hear something crazy? I literally was like, good on Audrey for sticking to this.
It's funny.
So funny.
Yes.
Like, this is so great that this is her favorite movie. Like, I love this
unabashedly,
choice.
She loves it.
That's so amazing.
Princess Bride.
So I like it a little bit less that it's not that stylistic choice, but whatever.
That's so funny. Have you ever seen Pride and Prejudice?
No. I don't even know what it's about.
It's based on a Jane Austen book, who's just a very well-known period piece author.
Thank you. I didn't know.
Anyway, Keira Knightley's in it.
Yep.
I don't know any of the other actors' names in it, to be honest with you, but it's Audrey's favorite. I watched it. I remember watching it growing up with my mom. She loved it. I watched it one time. Didn't really care as a young kid, young boy. Why would I care? It's a very period drama, romance time. I'm trying to think. It feels very theatrical. It's very play-like in a way, and I remember Audrey we tried to watch it again, and I remember liking it and be like, this is fine. And she really wanted to see it. I was like, I'll take you to go see it. Let's go watch it. It's back in theaters. I mean, it was like me going to see Interstellar. You know what I mean? Let's get the experience. Dude, I freaking loved it. It is genuinely, I think it's a perfect movie. It's in your top 10? I can't say that. I think just because my top 10 has leans more towards my preferences of what I like.
Sure. So it sucks.
No, that's not what I said.
It's only two distinct which I can hear.
It's either in your top 10
love
and it's
it
peak,
and you think it's the greatest thing ever, or you absolutely hate it and it shouldn't exist.
That's what's wrong with the film community.
There's no in between.
And I just came out of it and I turned to Arjun and I was like, I can't think of anything to make that movie better. It's so beautiful. It's so romantic. It's the dialogue is genuinely written so well. And it's paced well.
Better than I Hate Sand?
What?
I hate sand.
Oh,
Of course. Gets everywhere.
yes. I think it is better than that.
Really?
Unfortunately.
You know what's funny? People complain about that dialogue. I'm a guy who's kind of like, and what's wrong with that? He grew up on a desert planet.
And he doesn't have fond memories.
Of course he would hate sand.
Yeah.
Like, I love...
It's fine.
To me, I think it's a great distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Here's someone who, like, grew up in this very privileged lifestyle.
Yeah.
And sand is this, like, fun vacation thing. And then
But
this
to
is...
him,
But to
I
him...
hate sand.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
interesting,
think it's
It doesn't
that
bother me.
terrible.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people
yeah.
meme it out way worse than the dialogue is. That one,
People
and
like
like,
to hate that movie, though. Big time.
yeah. I mean, it's got problems.
It absolutely does.
But I wish I could just wish my... When people complain about the I wish I could just wish my feelings away line, it's like, do we forget that this is the most emotionally stunted, like, person in this franchise?
Yes.
Like a 9-year-old that gets thrust into the Jedi Order who knows nothing and is an outcast to everything, but is far superior and stronger than everyone else,
Yes.
but is constantly held back, constantly told he's doing the wrong thing, constantly told to push all of his emotions down. He's not trained to manage that.
And
so
deal
he's
with the
just
trauma
he's
that
just
he
right.
has.
He's just pushing it all down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sorry. He's gonna suck at talking to girls.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Now
him
it
some
doesn't
credit.
excuse the rest of the dialogue
True.
between everyone else.
Yeah.
But everyone loves to focus on the Anakin
Yeah.
dialogue, and I'm like, it's probably the only dialogue that makes sense for the character.
Yes. I know what you mean.
I feel the same way about his acting. Like, his acting to me, if I watched a video of George directing Anakin, I watched a video of George directing Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did exactly what George asked him to do.
Yeah.
But, sorry, what were we talking about?
Pride and Prejudice.
That's right. Let's try this one more time.
I just genuinely, I was like, I was watching through it because, like I said, in the past I've just kind of casually watched it and didn't really care. But you're kind of forced to experience this. And there's so many good moments. Like, there's so many dialogue moments where it's just like, oh, this is so, like, written well. And I know it's adapted and the book is very beloved. So I understand that, but like the cinematography in it and the performances and how they like linger on certain moments, like it gives you this, it forces you to kind of invest in this like romantic relationship. And by the end, it pays off so well. Oh, there's so many good conflicting moments because like between Keira Knightley's character and Mr. Darcy, like it's this back and forth love relationship. One moment they're kind of into each other, one moment they give like reasons to hate each other, and by the end of it, it resolves. And by the end of it, you buy into why they love each other so much. And there's like this classic end scene, and you will have no idea what it means, but like Mr. Darcy or Miss Darcy, like it's so like it's so emotional and it's so good and romantic.
Better than The Notebook?
Yes. I don't know. I haven't seen The Notebook in a while. I probably shouldn't say that, but like I would probably say so. Yeah, like there's just so many beautiful moments between these characters.
Yeah. What's beautiful about one severely ill old person reading the love story to a dementia-ridden spouse?
Yeah.
I mean, just die already. I mean, just like get it over with.
Just come on. Like let's just move on.
I don't care.
That's a wild take. I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen The Notebook in a long time.
In what universe is there a choice between James Marsden and Ryan Gosling?
Wait, who are you choosing? Ryan Gosling?
I'm licking Ryan Gosling, bro.
I mean, James Marsden's a pretty good-looking guy. Good-looking guy too.
Yeah, but he wrote them letters to support that the guy who molested Jake Bell. He wrote that character letter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So Cyclops, you're dead to me.
You're dead.
Except in Doomsday.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to see you. Yeah, I don't know. I was genuinely blown
James
away.
Marsden is a good-looking guy.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in his younger years. Dude.
I think he's like one of
Smitten.
them fine wine guys. I
Yeah.
think he looks better a little bit older.
I mean, I think he still looks really good, especially in like the Sonic movies. Great performance, looks really good.
Great performance. That's you did say that. They're fine. It's fine.
Those are fine. I actually kind of enjoy those movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen 3, but I enjoyed 1 and 2. But I digress. Pride and Prejudice is genuinely a beautiful movie. Like, I think you should watch it at some point. It's slow, it's dramatic, it's very eloquent, it's dialogue heavy, but I think the dialogue is written so beautifully and it carries you well. And there's enough of kind of a back and forth to kind of keep you invested. I don't think it's boring. And that back and forth resolves in such a way that by the end I was like, dude, this is so good. I can't like... I don't know. I think it's perfect. I think it is, dude.
Good for you.
And Audrey loved that I said that.
I know.
Turned out, I was
Are
like,
you done reading Audrey's notes?
You caught me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, she paid me to say all of that. Yeah. She said, I won't marry you if you don't.
Our first paid sponsor.
I don't know, man. I'm high on it, dude. I think it's
That's
great.
good for you.
You should watch it and tell me what you think.
Yeah. What'd you give it out of 10?
It's gotta be like a 9 out of 10. Like,
I was gonna do a spit take if you gave it a 10.
I think it's not a 10 out of 10 because it's not.
It's not good.
It's not. No, shut up. You haven't even seen it. Shut up, dude. It's just because it's not.
I haven't seen it. It's clearly bad.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna go with there. Yeah. It's just not like my preference of like what I like.
Yeah, if you
I love
saw this
sci-fi,
instead
like
of
I love-
Sinners, you're in. I'm just kidding.
If I rated like Sinners like 8 out of 10 and I gave Pride and Prejudice a 9 out of 10,
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm rating it that. I'm saying if I did, like,
Sure. I want to keep it a secret what I think about Sinners.
Yeah. It was a fun time though. Had a good weekend.
Yeah.
It was a fun little watch. It surprised me. It's
Cool.
good. Check it
Good
out.
time.
Yeah. How was your weekend? Have a good Easter?
It was a great Easter's.
Did you have diarrhea?
I didn't have diarrheas, but my family member almost did
Oh, great.
on the walk to church.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What did we eat?
I don't know. I think it's just a normal occurrence now.
That's sad. Anyway.
It's upsetting.
Was it you?
One of my grandparents, we were eating, and they were like, it was cool. Mama parking lot takes, Leah.
Yeah.
Love her.
I love that.
Mama parking lot takes, she was gassing up the pod. She's like,
You know, she said that when she wished me happy
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
I was like, that's so cool.
That's where I got that
Yeah,
from.
I was like, that's so cool.
But yeah, she was gassing up the pod in front of the fam, which was cool.
That is cool.
My grandma, she's like, Christian, I want to listen to your podcast. I just can't figure it out on the radio. When's it come on air?
Are you being serious?
Dead serious.
How old is she? She's probably, what?
25.
She's like in her 80s probably?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know how old your mom is, but that's so funny. And what did you tell her? Like, no,
I
Grandma.
said, no, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
And when's that on air?
Oh, that
I said,
poor
shut
woman. You told your grandma, shut up, Grandma.
I said, you know how to work YouTube.
Shut up, Grandma.
You drove
Drink
here?
your prune juice.
You drove here. You drove here. You should be able to operate YouTube.
Oh, poor Grandma. Grandma parking lot.
Listening to my dad describe directions to her over the phone might be the funniest thing I've ever experienced
That's awesome.
in my lifetime.
Yeah. That's funny.
Um,
She'll get there.
yeah, let's talk about something actually interesting.
Yeah. Oh, so my Pride and Prejudice take wasn't interesting to you?
Exactly.
Dang it.
Star Wars. Big Star Wars announcement. What did you think about the mall show announcement?
I
Shadow
am
Lord.
so excited for it.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Sam Witwer. Because I think this show is going to be good because Sam Witwer has such a love for the character. He loves playing the character. And I think Sam Witwer, I don't feel like he would accept it if he didn't think it was true to Star Wars, true to the character, and good. And so I'm very confident that it's going to be really good. I love Darth Maul. my.
Yeah.
Shut up! Don't say it! Don't say it!
I love Darth Maul, but
Shut up, don't
Kylo
say it.
Ren, you know.
I fully admitted by the end of that
Swallow Ben.
episode that I fully admitted that was a wrong choice, and I can very much regret that choice, and I'll own up to that because I love Darth Maul, especially what he does in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
So I think it's gonna be good.
Someone commented on that is like, he's not interesting. He's just angry. And I was like, that is so incorrect.
Absolutely.
It is so incorrect because Darth Maul is probably has the most interesting dynamic in the entire franchise because of being betrayed by the Sith and hunted by the Jedi.
Yeah.
He belongs to neither, but is an enemy of both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Like,
do you think they were just talking about the Phantom Menace? That's what most people.
No, they were talking about Clone Wars too. We had a little bit of back and forth. Yeah.
How can you say that from the Clone Wars? That's wild.
I just disagreed.
I think if you just watch the movie, I could see somebody saying that. I think it's still really interesting in the movie, but
I don't
he
even
doesn't
think
have a lot.
where do you get rage from in the movie?
He's very collected.
Yeah.
He's very calculated. I don't get that either.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think for having watched the Clone Wars, I can't see that at all.
But it looks like it's taking place right after Clone Wars and will be about so the Darth Maul Shadow Lord show will be taking place after Clone Wars and the events we see in Siege of Mandalore, which is very cool, and him building the crime syndicate.
Yeah. Crimson Dawn,
which is cool. A little bit also, we're getting a new Tales series.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
With Ventress.
Yes.
So I kind of want to see. I want to see
Darth.
No, well, I want to see because in Siege of Mandalore, Darth Maul's lightsaber is part his OG lightsaber and then part Ventress's lightsaber. Oh. So I would like to see in Tales how he got that.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
That would be. Really
I know how he gets it. I would just like to see it.
That'd be fun.
On top of that, if you are an OG Star Wars guy and a lover of George Lucas, you should be beyond excited for the Darth Maul show.
Absolutely.
Here's why. Because when Disney, this is one of the reasons I freaking hate Disney. I don't hate you. I would love to come to premieres. I would love you and I'll glaze you. You're just here to pay me. I'm a shill. When the sequels were coming out, dude, one of the most annoying bits of news I thought was, they said it's hard because we don't have anything to go off of. It got later confirmed that George handed in basically a blueprint. George Lucas handed Disney, when George sold Lucasfilm to Disney, he handed Disney a blueprint of what he thought the sequels should be.
Yeah.
Do you know that's what this Darth Maul show is?
Is it really?
It is. Because in his grand archetype for his sequel trilogy, Maul was going to be the big bad with Talon as his apprentice running the crime syndicate.
No
that
way.
Would have been the three OG.
That
Would have been the three sequel movies we got. So the fact that we're getting it in a show, I think is, it's not as cool as probably getting three movies of it. It's still very cool. We're going to at least see that vision in the show. So if
cool.
people are big on George Lucas,
they should love
this. Is a really cool project for them. It's also just a sick project in general. But the Talon is from that original blueprint, the crime syndicate being the big boss and all that. Now, I don't know how closely it's going to follow those concepts, but the elements are there. So the crime syndicate, cool. Maul being the lead of it, apprentice Talon, all of that comes from George Lucas's idea for what he wanted the sequel trilogy to be. Very cool.
I think that's so
cool. That's very cool
to see that on screen.
A lot of love going in there. So shout out Disney.
Yeah, absolutely. For taking the time. I
just said I hated you, but I was annoyed that you lied.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You just
some of the choices
you just chose to not do what you were handed.
Yes.
So
I think it's gonna be a good show.
Yeah.
I won't say that. I'm excited for it. We'll see, but I think if it follow some of that blueprint, they're going to do some really cool stuff with it. So yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I trust Sam Witwer. He does such a good job with the character, and he's such a Star Wars nerd, and he loves it so much that I just think that he would accept this and say, "Yep, let's do this."
Yeah.
If he felt like it was faithful.
Yeah.
So I think it's very cool.
Ryan Gosling is also in a Star Wars project.
Yeah.
Starfighter, which is taking the slate for the Rey movie. What's going on with that, I don't know, but it's taking its time slot. Cool.
I think it's cool.
He feels like an X-Wing pilot to me.
Oh, absolutely. I see him sitting in the cockpit of an X-Wing, absolutely, and playing it really well, doing something interesting with it. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to see more to really know what it is, but I think if it's a X-Wing centric story, I think that could be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it will get in kind of like into the tone of like a grounded Andor?
I hope it's more of the Rogue One Solo tone.
Yeah, I think that's probably a better accurate comparison. Yeah, probably like a Rogue One style, more like that. Because they're going to play up the fact that there's going to be some cool battles and things like that, I'm sure. So it'd be a little bit more spectacle than... The reason I thought that was because they're honing in on like one character and probably just doing some like more war stuff. Maybe they would go with that tone. But yeah, I think maybe like a Rogue One.
Yeah. I was... some friends of mine were talking about Andor. I just rewatched the first season, by the way. Because I just really feel like I missed something. One of the things that people really, when Dune came out, they were complaining about, well, because the Dune, of course, people enter Dune into a Star Wars conversation, like, is it better than Star Wars? And people were like, no, Dune doesn't have whimsy. Star Wars needs whimsy. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Andor doesn't have any whimsy.
No, not at all.
And those same people love Andor.
Yeah.
So I don't... It's like one of those, like, while when it fits your argument logic sort of thing, like when it supports what you're trying to say. Mm-hmm. And I think I could use a little bit more whimsy in Andor. Sure.
Yeah, maybe a little bit at times. We get moments, but it's very small and fleeting. Yeah. It's only like a couple times. Yeah, I think a little bit more might make it feel more involved in the overall Star Wars universe. Because this feels like almost feels like a Star Wars Legends show. Like it's I think season 1 still feels like Star Wars. We'll see how season 2 feels. But it's so removed from a lot of the magic of Star Wars that I think it could use a little bit of that. Just like pieces throughout it to kind of give it that overall feel of Star Wars.
I can totally see what people love about Andor. I think Andor's great. I mean, it's a
subgenre of the Star Wars universe, essentially.
Yeah. But in some ways, I think Andor makes the Rebellion no better than the Empire in how they treat
it. Does
people.
Muddy the waters there.
And I don't like that. I don't like that Andor does that. Because
I like it overall as a story
Rebellion's supposed to
element.
be... Sure. Okay, let me put it. It really serves the story to do it like that. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, the Rebellion's supposed to be right, true, hopeful.
Not working in the gray. Like, we are the beacon of hope in the galaxy.
We're setting the course correct.
Yeah.
We're the light. Mm-hmm. Andor keeps entering the Rebellion into this morally gray, gotta do whatever you gotta do situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's just,
I think it's interesting of like fighting
Rogue
tyranny.
One is interesting because it's like you're pitting that you're the hope and whimsy, and you're sending Cassian to make this call, to kill the engineer.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure people are gonna be like, well, you just know that they asked him to do other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure, but that guy was they were operating very close knit.
Yeah.
And it was the wrong decision. They're just doubling down on that in Andor.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's fine. I mean, not fine. I think a lot of it's very, very good. I think what's so funny is my complaint about the show is a lot of the people love about it, which is I'm like, Cassian's the least interesting character. Mon Mothma is so cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. That's why it's so great. And I'm like, but it's called Andor.
Yeah.
So do 2 shows, like do an entire political drama. I'm someone in the Clone Wars that loved all the political drama stuff in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say even like season 2. Here's what I'm gonna say.
We're gonna talk more about.
We'll talk more about it. I'm gonna give a very general.
Yeah, because I'm a little behind.
As much stuff as you want to bring in from the real day-to-day world into Star Wars to ground it and make it gritty, intense, and bring the tone down and make it just super, super gritty. As much as you want to do that, you'll never achieve Anakin marching on the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
Anakin betraying the Jedi, and then Anakin sitting in the Jedi Council opposite of Padme, and the music that plays there.
Yeah.
You'll never achieve that.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not even like you're having to bring all of these big, heavy concepts and elements
to bring
in,
it down,
and you're not even touching the
darkness of
how dark some of the movies get.
How
he
goes
intense
far.
some of the movies get.
Yeah.
You don't even touch it.
Because when Anakin slaughters the younglings in the temple, that's the darkest moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll have to. I got to catch up on season 2.
Yeah, let's talk about season 1.
Just from season 1, like some of the moments, it's not going to touch that. Like,
and they're having to bring in all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
And introduce it into Star Wars, which is whatever, whether you agree or you don't. I mean, I think we have opinions on it, but it's like, it does make me think less of the show. Because it's like, you're having to ground it in reality to get it to be gritty, but you'll never be as gritty as Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So what does that say to the writing? Like, is the writing really good? Just make it whimsical, man. Like, just... Like, it felt like if you took that stuff out, it's the same show.
You can still have some adventure to it. That is interesting because, like, I think every time I've looked at Andor Season 1, I've looked at it as this isolated show for what this show is, I really love what it's doing. But I don't know if I've spent enough time thinking about how it fits into the overall Star Wars universe. Especially, I think you brought up a good point comparing it to Rogue One, because Rogue One does still have the whimsy.
Yeah.
Has some fun and has some humor.
It does the gritty, dark thing.
But it also does it.
Yeah.
And it balances it. Whereas Andor doesn't have the whimsy. So how does that feel in the magic of Star Wars? Man, I think if I'm looking at it from that perspective, Andor doesn't fit in as well. But if I look just at Andor, I love what it's doing in its kind of isolated show. So you almost have to like change the lens to kind of get a feel for it. I think that's interesting.
I have a crazy take. If you like Andor, you should also like The Last Jedi. Because both compositionally are fine.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say from my perspective, I think I don't like a lot of The Last Jedi choices. I think it's one of the weaker films because of the choices, but I think there's still a lot of good in The Last Jedi. Yeah. Where some people just say, I hate it. I think it's all awful. I don't think that. I think there's definitely some good pieces. And there's some high highs and there's some low lows in The Last Jedi. I don't think it's all low lows.
It's just one of that movie is like, I just ultimately just disagree with the direction. It's just not what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
But I agree. Compositionally, fine.
Yeah.
It's acted well. It's shot well.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like the people who praise Andor should also like The Last Jedi for the same reasons.
Not necessarily the whim. Well, give me some reasons.
No. Like because of how well executed the show is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Last Jedi is executed just as well.
Yeah.
And it also does the whimsy, but. It's honestly like what I'm saying. Andor compositionally is great.
Yeah.
Does it fit into Star Wars like the perfect puzzle piece? Probably not.
Yeah. And
you do have to kind of disconnect from the rest of the franchise to really chew on it.
Yeah.
Whereas, I would say the last thing, it's like, if you love how well written Andor is, and that's the pro for Andor, sweet. You should like Last Jedi.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with the writing in Last Jedi.
Yeah, and I think that's like, because there is such a conversation with like consuming and critiquing film of, is it compositionally good or bad? Do I just not like the choices? And I think with The Last Jedi, I think a lot of people don't like the choices they made and they throw out the entire film. So I think to your point, you should be able to recognize that compositionally it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
I just don't like the choices.
Right.
But a lot of people don't recognize that, or they recognize it, they just don't say that per se. They just throw it all out.
It's one of the few where I'm like, I don't like it, but it's not bad.
Yeah. And I think that I really don't. I think you should say that. I mean, I think if you don't like it, I don't think there's enough of a case. I've never heard enough of a case to say it's compositionally a bad movie. It's just I don't like the choices they did with Luke.
Really
I just don't.
Yeah, you cannot like Luke. I don't like what they
Snoke
did
too
with
early. Luke. Okay, you don't like the choice there. Then So yeah, I haven't had I have not heard a good case for why it's not good compositionally.
Another thing that made me so angry was talking about Andor, and I was just like, it's just it's very much a slow burn, and someone just flew out of their chair and was like, yeah, you just have to have like action scenes and lightsaber fights in your Star Wars. I said, I absolutely disagree with you because I thought all the Mon Mothma stuff was fantastic and the most interesting part of the show. And I loved it. So that's just not a true statement at all.
Not at all.
My complaints are the Andor stuff. Like, it's slow. But it's still a good show. It's just not like, I'm not like, this is the greatest Star Wars project of all time. I just don't even.
All the headlines for Andor Season 2 are saying, is this the greatest Star Wars live action project we've ever gotten? ? I've seen 2 or 3 different things from YouTubers and stuff that I watch who I haven't clicked on it because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's said that is this the best live action Star Wars we've ever seen? And I'm like, that's a tall order. If people actually think that about Andor Season 2. I would be surprised if I thought that about Andor Season 2. And I love Andor Season 1.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's just,
We'll see. Yeah. I'm going to catch up on it. We'll talk probably a little bit more about it. It's going to be tricky trying to watch 3 hours of content.
I love it.
Oh, I love that they're doing it just for kind of how we have set up shooting for the week. But I'm going to try to crank through it, and I'll catch up over the weekend and we'll talk about it a little bit more and kind of see how it plays out. But I'm excited to watch it. I'm definitely excited. We've got so much content right now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Some good shows.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
See, episode 2 came out.
Mm-hmm. Do we even do non-spoilers? I don't think we do.
If you were afraid it was going to follow the game, you will not be put at ease by this.
No.
Non-spoiler from now on.
Yes, yeah.
Or spoiler from now on.
That's...
Yeah. They did the thing.
They did the thing. The big moment, the scene.
They did it.
That...
They do be doing it.
We didn't know if they were actually going to do it.
Yep.
But they did.
They do be doing it. They do be doing it.
They do be doing it.
They do be doing it.
They did not pull their punch.
They did a little bit, but yeah. In my opinion, they did a little bit.
In kind of what way do you...
By doing the Abby stuff in episode 1.
I see what you're saying. To set it up a little bit more rather than it be a little more...
they pulled their punch by setting it up in episode 1. They started their punch in episode 1 versus,
I got you.
Know what I mean?
Versus just a huge...
They telegraphed their
moment.
haymaker versus it being an
just
uppercut.
Shows up out of nowhere. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, they did. I think it was their choice to try to present this moral dilemma. We talked a little bit about it already on last episode. I think that was what they were trying to go for, is to try to make Abby more relatable. Maybe you think it worked, maybe you don't. I don't know. But, I see what you're saying as far as they pulled it. But they did it. Joel is gone.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
he can come back.
In flashbacks.
Yeah, in flashbacks. That's what I know.
Yeah.
And that'll be the show.
Yeah.
I can't believe the rest of the show is going to be a flashback. That's insane.
Pedro Pascal's not going anywhere.
They're not gonna. He's gonna do it till he's 90.
Till he's 90. That's funny. Here's what I'll say about the episode. I came out of it thinking it is an incredible episode of television. I really did think that. I've heard a lot of people saying, making the comparison, I don't want to take this from anyone. Multiple people have said this. It's a comparison to like the top like Game of Thrones level moments. I think the episode is on that level of this is a huge moment. Even though I knew it was coming. Like I knew this was probably going to happen. And I still came out of the episode thinking, yeah, this is on par with one of those moments. Because I think a lot of the dialogue works. I think the moment works. I think the choice works. I think the scale of the episode and the choices that they made with like the infected invading Jackson, I think all that was incredible. I thought it was really cool. So overall, I mean, I think the episode is fantastic. So for me, it makes sense. Yes, I would agree. It is that kind of Game of Thrones level moment that you're going to remember this episode throughout the series. Like I would remember Battle of the Bastards, Red Wedding in the Game of Thrones. This is going to be one of those episodes. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really freaking good. I really do. Do you think it's a good episode?
No comment.
Really?
Just indifferent. I'm just indifferent, man. Yeah.
Do you think maybe choices aside, you think it's a good episode? And that's hard to say in some ways.
Here's the thing. You know what? It's just gonna be a difference. I recognize this.
Keep squeezing that cube, man.
I don't think anybody is wrong. I don't think anybody is incorrect for thinking that way. Just in my opinion, there's two very heinous decisions here.
Give them to me.
Yeah. Two very heinous decisions in the show so far. Introducing Abby and her motives in the first 5 minutes of episode 1 is a terrible choice, especially if you're not going to deviate from the story. They pulled their punch on that so hard by doing that. Absolutely, that whole moment would have been hit harder, took everyone by surprise, left everyone shock and awe if you had met Abby for the first time running away from zombies or infected. Mm-hmm. It would have hit way harder to meet her like you do in the game. Don't know why they changed it. And I don't understand the reasoning behind that, why you needed to build out that tension and introduce that early on. My opinion is, if you're not going to deviate, which is fine, do it. Literally, the game does it perfectly. I don't think that, I don't love the game because of the choices, but I recognize the game does tell the story perfectly.
Yeah.
The other heinous decision I don't understand, and I just don't think the trade-off's worth it, is not having Tommy be there. I don't like that choice. I understand there's a reason they did it before someone tells me you don't understand the reasoning.
Yeah.
I do understand the reasoning because they want to build the relationship of Dina and Joel up. But in my opinion, they already really did a good job of that in season 1. And this doesn't really add a ton to their relationship by having her there. Mm-hmm. All you do is take the wind out of the sails for Tommy's revenge plot for the rest of the show going forward. The other thing I'm not a fan of, here's the other, this is playing into the first point, but you're also kind of cutting down a lot of Abby's redemption moments. Because they want you to understand, here's the reasoning they changed it. They want you to understand Abby and why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
So they were hoping, in my opinion, I think they're hoping that makes it more palatable because you understand the motives in the moment. You're not as emotional. I don't think that had the effect just looking at the audience. Looking at people who watched it, I don't think that was how they took it. I'm seeing a lot of screw Abby. I can't wait for them to kill Abby. F you, Abby. Like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Not anyone being like, wow, what a complex anti-hero character.
And they do specifically say, like, Craig Mazin says, like, Neil Druckmann says,
she's
one
an
of the
anti-hero.
She's an anti-hero, not a villain.
Yeah. So there's only one more shot for her to have a redemption arc in this season. In one of the situations she gets put in to bring her, or redemption arc, not a redemption arc, but to do the anti-hero stuff. But there were two things. There was that. There was the Joel killing her dad, and then there was this other thing. Mm-hmm. Well, they've already done this. People still aren't on board.
Yeah.
I'm curious if this will solve it.
Yeah.
If you play the game, you probably know what I'm talking about. But she also does some... That's right. I'm just remembering more. Abby sucks. Like, not as a character, just like as a human. Like, she's not a good person.
Yeah.
She does some messed up stuff. That
Later on?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and we'll see down the road how they handle a lot of... I don't know the intricate details of where it goes from here. I just don't remember when I watched like playthroughs and things like that. Here's what I'll say about... Okay, both of those points. Number one, I thought them setting up... And I don't want to rehash what we've already said last episode, but... I felt like them setting up Abby with that worked for me because they're trying to pit the dichotomy there. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the dichotomy. I don't think there's a big dichotomy there. But I see what they were trying to do there. And I do think in this episode, the moments where she's talking to Joel, specifically where she's leaned down and talking to him, there are some moments in there where they showed her vulnerability more than maybe they did in the game from that scene. So I think in that execution of Abby, what they were trying to do, I think it works, and I noticed that. Now, it doesn't make me on board with Abby and say, oh, I just feel for you. But I think the choices that they made to create that dichotomy, I get it. I think it does work in the show. It doesn't mean I agree with Abby, but I see the perspective, if that makes sense. So for me, it was a choice that I didn't like love or hate. I think it's fine. And I think in this episode, it still plays out fine. I'm okay with it. The choice for Tommy not to be there, I didn't play the game, so I don't feel the attachment to Tommy being there.
You can't see the attachment. You can't like envision how much more emotional all that would have been.
Absolutely. Because it's his brother, I absolutely can see that. But just looking at the episode, for what Tommy does in the episode and his purpose in the episode, I loved all that stuff, and I think it all works. So I'm fine with it. And I think if maybe I played the game, I would feel a little bit more. I do see the perspective of having the brother there, it being more emotional for him to really go through that. And especially if there is some revenge arc, it would probably set that up better. But for what this episode is and the deviation that they took from the game, from what I understand, having Jackson be invaded by the infected and his purpose there leading the town, I think I loved all that stuff. I loved him fighting the bloater. I loved him like leading the troops, getting the flamethrower, taking the choices. I mean, running at the infected, like all of that stuff works so well for Tommy as a character. And so I didn't feel the need for him to be there because I bought into him being in Jackson. That's from my perspective, kind of coming to this semi-fresh as a viewer of the show, not attached to the games. And I think that's just maybe a difference in perspective that we have, and me accepting some of the choices better than maybe you. Yeah, or not accepting, liking the choices differently.
I just don't see how you couldn't think. Sorry, let me rephrase that. That sounded very aggressive. Let me try that again. You're an absolute idiot. Great,
thanks. Yeah. This is our last episode.
This is shut up. We're done talking about it. I don't see how. I understand that. Like, I get it. You like that episode. Guess what? Or you like that the invasion stuff. You can have all of that without having Tommy there. You have to tie in. Tommy's going to play a huge role this season. You don't need more of him because I know where they're going. He's already playing a huge role. He's already going to do some bad A mofo crap. Okay?
Yeah.
Have him be in the room. Take that time to develop some other characters that don't get the time, like Dina and some of the other Ellie's friends. Let them lead the invasion raid.
Sure. If there's a world where that happens, I mean, I think it could work, yeah.
Why do you not think Tommy be like, I'm telling you, you still get your cool invasion scene and you get the emotional weight of Tommy being there. You think Tommy not being in that raid detracts so much from that sequence, then it would add for Tommy to be there when Joel died.
Not necessarily. I mean, the only counterpoint to that, I would say, I don't think he has to be in the raid. I think it works and makes sense because they have set him up as such a leader figure for Jackson, in this show specifically. So I think they have set it up for Tommy to be the one to lead this group and get them through the invasion. I think the other people could step up and it could work. Yes, I'll give you that point. But I think in the show, they've set up Tommy to be that leader. In the beginning of the episode, he's guiding them. Hey, get into the basement, get your guns ready. They're just setting him up for that. And so for this episode, to me, it made sense for Tommy to be there, and I think it worked. Yes, maybe there is a world where it can still work, and Tommy has that moment in the chateau with Joel, with Abby. But I think them setting up him as the leader in Jackson, it makes a lot of sense for him to lead them through the invasion and to be able to get them through it and survive it.
Yeah, we're just not arguing about the same things. I'm not arguing compositionally. I understand why he's there. I don't have an issue. But why they I understand writing-wise why he's there. Just don't write it like that. That's what I'm saying.
But they did write it this way.
Right.
So I'm saying
I'm just saying the decision
works.
I don't like. It's sure it works, but I think
fine.
you detract from the other moment.
But you
more so than
you're saying
get.
you detract from the other moment though because you know what it is in the game.
Right.
So I'm saying the choice that they made here, for me, coming to the show's perspective, works completely fine.
It elevates it.
I think it elevates the invasion stuff. Yes.
How?
Because they set up Tommy as the leader. I think him leading them through this, for example, the scene where they line up with the flamethrowers, right? The three guys, they bail. Tommy doesn't. And I think that's such a good moment for him as a leader in Jackson because he looks back, sees they run, and he runs into the infected. And I'm like, that's such a good Tommy moment as a leader for Jackson. And so that's why I think Tommy being there elevates it. He has those moments in Jackson leading this group, being the one to step up, that I don't know if I see any of the other characters in Jackson doing that. They can step up and fight alongside them, but Tommy being the leader is what gets them through the invasion and I think pushes them into surviving it. That's why I think it works to me. There's just enough of those moments. I think it elevates it.
Yeah, I just don't think it's worth not having Tommy be there to do that.
I think if you have the perspective from the games, yes.
Well, yeah, that's the perspective I'm talking about. But I think in general, writing-wise, it's better tension to have Tommy be with Joel and be like, infected are raiding Jackson and my family's there. I need to get back there. Mm-hmm. That just creates more tension and stakes than Tommy just having his life on the line. When you put his loved ones in danger versus himself in danger, it's more impactful. So if he's the one that's like, I got to get back, we've got to get back, we've got to gear up, and they come in, and the Fireflies come and knock him over the head and shoot Joel in the leg, I think that's just better stakes.
I think that choice would be really cool too. I think both of them, for me, both of them would work.
Right. But I think one is better. One is better going forward. One might serve this moment better or whatever, but going forward for the rest of the story, we're in episode 2. It might serve this one sequence in episode 2. It does not serve the rest of the season better.
So I can't speak to that.
Okay.
Yet.
This is so annoying.
Maybe my perspective changes when we get to the end of this season, and I go, "Oh, Tommy's got this arc. I think they could have set it up better." Right now, I don't know.
Tommy is the primary antagonist for Abby before Ellie gets there.
So we'll see. Let's maybe circle back to this and see how I feel, because I haven't experienced the show. I don't know what they're going to do with Tommy. Are they going to be completely true to it, or are they going to divert a little bit?
This is my theory. See. You're not going to care what happens in season 2 going forward because of how small potatoes this is. Like, you're not going to care. Like, if in my opinion, like, you're going to start seeing it, there's no way you're going to think back like, oh, this would all be so much better if he was there. It's like... Mm-hmm.
It's not enough for me to maybe change my perspective.
No, I don't think it will be, but I'm just saying, why deviate just to have a cool riot when you have characters you haven't developed that are going to be in the rest of this season, that are going to help Ellie in her, that get way less time. I think you could give, what's his name? The guy that's going to be running Jackson, that's with Ellie.
Oh, Jesse.
Jesse. Let him lead. He's going to be taking over Jackson. That's a cool moment for him. Mm-hmm. Tommy's about to leave Jackson. Let him step up.
Yeah, and it's hard to speak. Like, I don't feel like I can really say anything to that because I don't know what's coming. So I feel like maybe when we get a couple more episodes in and I see where they go with Tommy, maybe it will make me feel a little bit different about this episode. Because I will say, I mean, sometimes context later on does change your perspective on past things. So if it's kind of like how you're saying it's going to be for Tommy, maybe that arc does change my perspective on this episode. I think it could. Maybe you're right, it won't, but I don't know.
My whole thing is I think you're going to be like, the show will play out like the game. And you'd be like, yeah, it's fine, he's not there, whatever. Like... You won't even really think about that riot sequence, that like raid sequence.
Yeah.
And then therefore it's like, yeah, so you don't really care enough, like you think it's whatever. So then it could be switched. And you could stay true.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. The raid sequence doesn't matter enough to where I get what you're saying. Yeah. So right now, yeah. that raid sequence to me feels huge.
Yeah, it's not.
It feels like big Tommy moment. Right. But in comparison to what could happen, maybe it's not as big of a Tommy moment.
Yeah. Tommy's going to have way better moments, and it serves him better to be with Joel than it does to be in Jackson. Unless they don't have him leave Jackson.
Which would be a big deviation. From what I hear, I don't know. But, yeah, I see what you're saying there. And that's where we'll see. We'll see where kind of Tommy goes and if this episode matters as much for Tommy.
Yeah.
And kind of how I feel. If we can remember, we need to talk about that again. I think that'd be interesting.
I remember.
Ask me that. Be like, based on where Tommy went this season, does season 2 still hold up for you? I think it'd be interesting.
Well, like one of the big thing is he goes and headhunts all her friends. So how does he do that if he didn't see them?
We'll see. I mean, in the trailer for the next episode, they don't really give you a lot of that. You just see him, like... over the body, I think. We'll see. I don't know.
Do you think Joel's a good guy?
No. And yes. But that's what makes him complex. And I love that.
Do you think he had a redemption arc in season 1?
That's so tricky. Because, I mean... Yes, I think Ellie is his redemption arc.
Yeah.
I think Ellie is Joel's redemption arc in season 1.
Yeah.
And in season 2, they are trying to pit some conflict to that with Abby. And so that's where I think some of the dilemma is if you buy into the Abby stuff of... That was his redemption arc. Oh, wait, is it now? Because Abby thinks he's a monster. He's doing these heinous things, but he did save Ellie, so they're trying to pit that. But yeah, I would say season 1 is his redemption arc. He still makes some tough choices, though.
Yeah.
Which makes it complex, and I think that's great.
I love everyone in our comments acting like if their child was on the train tracks and then there was 10 other people on train tracks that tried to kill your child, that they wouldn't divert the train.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Shut up.
There's no choice there.
You would absolutely kill the other 10.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. And like when we were talking about it last episode, It's funny because I was thinking about the conversation after the fact, and I was like, I felt like you thought I was arguing for Joel shouldn't have done that.
No.
When I was just, I was saying was they're trying to pit you in this moral dilemma. It's not necessarily working. And it's not making me choose differently, but they're trying to do that. And in season 2, I think they're trying to do that with Abby. It just doesn't, it's not enough for you to really think that Abby's justified. You know what I mean? Or Joel shouldn't have saved Ellie. It doesn't change that perspective. Yeah. But they're trying. If
they wanted to do that, they wouldn't have made the Fireflies like the aggressors. They should have made them really
They should
passive.
have, like, we're trying everything Unarmed. We can. We're going to save her.
No one had a gun. Joel clearly escalated the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which they don't do, because they don't want to throw that punch.
Yeah.
Which is whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Are you...
But in that conversation, I thought you were trying to say Joel should be divided on whether he did the right thing or not.
No. Yeah, and I know we
And
came
I was
to that.
like, no, he's not. No. Ellie's the one who's struggling with that. Joel's the one that said,
nope.
If I had to do it all over, I'd do it again.
I saved her.
Yeah.
And I'd do it again. Yeah.
So, the only thing he's sad about is that Ellie's sad about it.
Yeah.
Like
that he has to lie to her about it, and he's dealing with like the conflict of it.
That's the only thing he's upset about. He's upset that Ellie feels like she doesn't have a purpose anymore.
Yeah.
That's what he's upset about.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's
not that he killed 18 people who were going to murder a teenager.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
do you think, like, where's your sentiment watching this from here on out? Are you going to continue to watch it?
Sure.
You think just for, let's just see what the conversation is, just keep watching it?
Sure.
Are you excited?
I'm more excited for like season 3 at this point.
Wow. 2 episodes in.
Well, like, I already know what happens. So, it's like...
But, I mean, you knew it was going to happen in season 1, and, I mean, were you excited for it?
No, I knew it was going to happen every time.
So you weren't excited?
Like, so in season 1, I was excited to see certain sequences adapted. There's no sequence in the second game. We've already passed everything I would have been interested in seeing adapted.
Mm. So you don't think the story is interesting enough to be really excited for what's coming in the rest of the season?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm curious about seeing how they adapt Abby banging her pregnant friend's husband.
Nice. That's great. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know enough to like.
I guess I'm curious if they'll do that.
Oof.
All you people who said Ellie and Abby are the same. So
Not
we had a very, very civil conversation. So I don't want to treat this person like an idiot at all. But I was talking about, well, Joel has an arc. Like, he has an arc, and they're like, he doesn't have a redemption arc. And I said, he absolutely does. In the beginning, he could care less for Ellie.
Yeah.
At the end, he cares a lot.
Yeah.
He couldn't save Sarah. He saves Ellie.
Yeah.
And their response was, well, of course you brought up, well, now that you've brought up Sarah, what do you think Joel would have done had the soldier that killed Sarah not died? And I was like, this was my response. Oh, I was unaware Sarah tried to kill that soldier's daughter. And their response was, all right, have a good day.
That's great.
It was like, clearly I saw what they were going for, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's very different.
Like they try to present it like a moral argument, and you can choose to digest it and accept that I think if you really don't think about it and you just want to go look at the interviews with the writers, you come to that conclusion. Yeah. But when you really break it down, Joel looks at this person as a daughter. He shows up. They're not going to communicate that they're going to kill her. Some bimbo dummy with a bachelor's degree and limited resources thinks he's going to be the first person in history to come up with a fungal virus cure, which don't exist in our world. Like, in real life, they don't exist. Yeah. No one's ever created one.
Yeah.
So Joel's like, no, we're not doing that. They point a gun at him, and he shot them. Who would have thought? Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, and someone else said, like, he could have just shot him in the knee. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You're not wrong.
We're
like,
getting semantics.
This
there,
is
though.
semantics, and this is like, does he care? At this point, I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I
matter.
gave that point to that guy. I'm like, yeah,
Sure,
you're
he
right.
could have. Yeah.
Maybe. I think Abby's. Here's a reality. If Joel doesn't cap everyone in that facility in season 1, at the end of season 1, if he doesn't kill all those fireflies are gearing up and going after him and Ellie.
Yeah, true.
So
He just
for the cure. So regardless of what Joel does, it was kill everybody there or Ellie dies.
Yeah.
There was no other way. Mm-hmm. Maybe he kills all the guards and leaves the doctor alive. You're still going to piss Abby off.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Let's get out of mediocre. I'm just kidding. It's very good. Whatever.
I like it. I'm excited.
I think
I'm
a lot
excited
of
to see where it
people,
goes.
there's a lot to like. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just for me and the guys who I've talked
That's
to
all right.
who love the games, who played the game, and we're just kind of unhappy with the game. We're just like, whatever.
Yeah. I think I'm excited about this show and talking about it. And I know it's probably more me than you, but I'm excited because I'm coming at this show from the perspective of not beloved game playthroughs. You have played through it and have strong opinions about it. So I think the dichotomy is fun.
Here's
Not because I love it and you don't, but like I just like to hear.
This isn't spoiling anything for you.
Yeah.
But slight spoilers.
Yeah.
Everyone I've talked to who's played the game, including myself, we all agree they better freaking kill Abby.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of that. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
They better actually do it.
Yeah.
That, to me, I would like that. I would like that a lot. Because it is better serves Ellie's story, and I can get into that when we get there.
Yeah.
But
we
it
can talk
better
more about
serves Ellie to actually kill Abby. All right.
I almost think they won't.
No, I don't think they will, but
I
they
think
better.
they're going to try to do like Ellie goes above it and chooses not to. That's what I think they'll do.
Yeah, that's what happened in the game.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Yeah. I think they're going to stick with that. I don't think they're going to kill her. So I don't think there's a world.
The way
where
they
that
do
happens.
the stakes, basically she loses everything but makes the righteous decision.
That's
I don't like that.
That's what I think they're going to do. Yeah.
I think she should make the selfish decision or the revenge decision and lose everything.
I think that's just a ballsy choice. I think it's interesting. I think like for a resolving character, we'll see.
They're not going to
get
kill
there.
Abby because she's a big part of season 3. So,
Oh, well, yeah.
yeah. So unless they're completely scrapping all that, but nothing from what I've seen seems like they're looking like they're going to do that. But
We'll see.
let's talk about Sinners.
Let's
You want to rate it out of 10?
talk about Sinners.
Yeah. Sinners, Ryan Coogler's Ryan Coogler's newest movie.
Yeah.
It might be the second project that isn't connected to a formerly established IP.
Yeah.
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 So
Because he had Fruitville Station.
Yep.
Is independent. Mm-hmm. And then he did Creed 1 and 2 and Black Panther, which are all
yep.
franchise. So this is his second original. Well, Fruitville Station is loosely based on some real life events, but this is his second non-franchise project.
yeah.
All original, very fresh. He created it.
Yeah.
Starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, a really interesting cast of a lot of other actors and actresses that I remember from other projects, but weren't like main characters. So there's some interesting choices in here. Let's rate it.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
All right. So these are our scores out of 10 for Sinners, Ryan Coogler's newest movie that's come out.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. 10
10
out of 10. Yeah, we talked
so
a
good.
lot about this movie before. Just
We
'cause
did.
it's
There's
so
no
good.
way. Like, This is one of those ones where I don't think we could have like not talked about it.
I think we came out of the theater. I said, either we go film right now or we talk about it right now. So this movie is fantastic.
Oh, it's so good.
Easily my favorite movie that has come out this year by a country mile.
Easily.
It's probably going to be the best movie that comes out this year. In general.
There's some good movies on the docket this year. I don't know if they're going to touch Sinners.
It's the best movie.
It's going to have to be a surprise, I think, at this point.
Sinners is probably the best movie that's going to come out this year. It's definitely the best movie that's come out since last year. And
over Dune 2?
Yes. And
woo! And we're there.
It might be the best movie that comes out next year.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, we really don't know. But I'm just saying, like, what's been projected, I think it's going to beat all of those.
I think
all
unless
those 2026 slots,
curveball,
I think it's going to take it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Unless Ryan Coogler produces another movie in 2026, Sinners will be the best movie since, like, we'll beat everything in 2026 probably.
It's a marvel, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, is it too much to say that this is going to be like that there's moments in this movie and that this movie is going to be kind of like one of those classic film history movies? Is it too much to say that?
No.
I know there's been a lot of talk of like, this is the movie of the decade, but I'm thinking more about specific moments and just what this movie is. Like, I don't think it's crazy to say that.
Sinners absolutely gets introduced into a Django conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Easily.
Oh, that's such a good take.
Absolutely easily is entered into a Django conversation.
Yeah.
This is his fifth film. In my opinion, it beats most of Nolan's movies. It beats most of Tarantino's. And, I mean, it's definitely better than Avatar, Way of Water.
Yes.
Cameron, so then
by a mile.
I think Spielberg.
Easy now.
I'm trying to think.
You're getting into dangerous waters here.
I don't know if it's better than Jurassic Park.
Yes, it's better than Jurassic Park.
You think it's better than Jurassic Park?
Absolutely. I will confidently say that.
Okay.
I love Jurassic Park. It is the perfect like popcorn flick film. This is deeper. It's more complex. Its characters are better executed. They're very different. So like I say that in a very respectful way for Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is fantastic. It's incredible, but they're so different.
Sinners will be looked at like Jurassic Park is today.
No.
That's kind of what I was thinking of.
No. I see what you're saying there. No, I don't think it will be that classic like Jurassic Park, but I think it will always be looked at this very culturally relevant film.
Yeah.
As one of the most relevant movies to come out in the last like 2000s.
Yeah.
Like since the 90s.
I think easily, very comfortably, Ryan Coogler has just entered himself into Jordan Peele, Quentin Tarantino status.
Yeah.
Director.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm thinking now, and I mean, I have thought about him at times when people say like, hey, like who's a new, fresh, upcoming director? I've at times thought, oh, Ryan Coogler did something really cool in the MCU. He's doing stuff with Creed. Like, this is a really cool director. This is like top tier working today director. Like I'm thinking Christopher Nolan. I'm thinking Denis Villeneuve.
Yep.
I'm thinking of Robert Eggers. I'm thinking of all these very interesting directors working today. Ryan Coogler's absolutely in that conversation now of he's one of the best working today just by this film. Absolutely.
Sinners automatically became everyone who's been involved magnum opus. It became Ryan's magnum opus, became Michael B. Jordan's magnum opus, became Haley Steinfeld's magnum opus, became Ludwig the composer's magnum opus. The soundtrack in this is a Spider-Verse level soundtrack.
It's a character within its own right in this movie. Like just as much as Michael B. Jordan and his, like it has character to it.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, it's so good. Oh man. He's done some incredible stuff. He's done Oppenheimer, Black Panther. He's done The Mandalorian. I mean, dude, this guy's racking up.
He did Tenet.
That's right. That's crazy. I think this is his best, though.
Easily.
I think this is
Easily
pretty easily
his
his best. And pairing with what this film is as far as like the time period and the homage to blues and all of that, like it's so beautifully crafted. And it has its own identity. It doesn't feel like you're just getting like blues background music. Like it's like, that's why I said it's its own character, and it serves the story perfectly. This
movie is a absolute labor of love for both Ryan Coogler, but also for Ryan Coogler, but also in a very cool way. What's his name? Ludwig
Göransson.
Ludwig
Göransson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for both Ryan, this is very cool for both of them. And obviously the blues for Ryan Coogler comes from his uncle.
Yeah.
They always listen to blues music together, and
there's so
his
much.
Uncle is from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Which is where the film takes place. Very cool.
And it's
also,
such a connection to like Black culture and history, and it's shown throughout the movie, like weaved in
before
different
we
ways.
get into that.
Yeah.
Ludwig Göransson's very connected to blues music because it's one of his introductions to music.
Oh, really?
Yes, his dad was a huge fan of blues music.
Oh, that's so cool. That makes it so much better.
It's both in two completely different ways. It connects both of these people passionately to this project. It's very cool.
That's so cool.
And it is evident in the result of the film, the result of the score.
Yeah.
The level of storytelling, the complexity, how beautifully tied in Ryan Coogler makes this movie. It is equally matched on the composing side, they weave in and out beautifully together. They mesh so well. Every like big like praise I could give the movie on a filmmaking aspect, like it's complex. It's deep. It's layered.
Characters are complex. Yeah. They're not one-dimensional.
Yeah. Same thing goes for the score.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what I think is very cool.
Yeah.
Talking about it's absolutely such a love letter to blues music, and there's some very cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
That just blew me away. Do you want to get into spoilers?
Yeah, let's talk spoilers, because I think I want to get into some specific scenes on this conversation. Yeah. So, spoilers from here on out. If you haven't, go check it out. You need to see this movie. The scene that I'm thinking of, as far as blues, you're probably thinking of too. Yeah. Towards the middle of the film, they're in the juke joint. You're adding in these characters, blues throughout history, past and future. And I think that scene will go down in film history as a notable scene across all of film. I think it's just because it's so creative, and the music, and it's intricate, and it's complex, and it's layered, and it's so freaking good. It's one of the best scenes I've seen in a long time. Like, there's some really good moments in other films I can think of in past years, but like that stands out to me. And that's, to your point, why it shows such this love letter to blues, and it's so intricate to this story, and it's so cool how he uses it creatively. And because it's like because it's a period piece, like in that scene, adding in these actors in modern outfits and these futuristic things and very African culture, like it's so creative for him to do that in a film set in the late 1800s? What is it set? Like 1930s or something like that? I can't remember. But I just think it's so creative how he does that. And you feel the passion, you feel the creativity, you feel the thought that he put into this original story, trying to bring to life that just kind of inner passion that he has for blues. And I love it. Oh, it's so good. The music's incredible.
Yeah. That scene's just so good, showing the past, present, and future of what blues music has been and evolved into and what it will be. Also, very cool way for Ryan Coogler to represent how that this is what these people are doing on a fun Saturday night will be the backbone of the entire Hollywood industry.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Love. I mean, it's a masterclass in writing and world building and just so interesting. I want to talk about the genre because that's a big conversation.
Too, yeah. Everything we've talked up to this point, essentially, is drama, a bit of musical aspects to it, all done incredibly well. Period piece, done incredibly well. I could have watched an entire movie, I think, of just a musical drama, and it would have worked. But after that scene that we just talked about, huge shift.
Yeah. That's
where it gets into, this is a lot of genres brought together and melded perfectly. Because it does set up for what this night will be, and it goes to crap very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I will say, coming into this, having watched the trailers, knowing that there is going to be some horror elements to it, I was a little apprehensive about it. When you, so we saw this, you saw this before I saw it. You went and saw it and then convinced me to go see it, and you saw it again. And to be honest with you, when you watched it on Tuesday, I kind of was like, I'm fine with that. I'm interested in the movie, but I'm fine with that. I can watch it later. I don't know if this is going to be for me. Specifically because some of the horror elements and what I knew was going to happen. And I feel the opposite coming out of this with the horror elements, the vampire stuff, the violence aspects of it. I'm the complete opposite. I loved it. I loved all of it. I think it serves the story. I think it's great. The intricate nature of introducing vampires into this after you're kind of sitting with these characters and the musical aspect of it and the dramatic aspect of it is masterful. It's so good and it's done so freaking well. Where do we even start with the villains? Let's talk about some of the villains. Let's talk about some of the buildup of those characters. Go ahead.
There's a really cool thing. This gets us to talk about two things.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the genre. I think it's hilarious to think that if I pitched you this movie, you would be like, that sounds absolutely idiotic.
Yes.
What if I told you there's a period piece that's also a musical that also ends up being a slasher horror movie, but it's all incredible and might be the best movie that you will see in the next 2 years.
I would go, you're crazy.
Right. Yeah.
That sounds awful.
It just is
that sounds like a mess.
That sounds absolutely ridiculous.
A mess.
That's also, did I say musical?
Yeah.
Okay, I did. But it all works and it's so great and it's just a masterclass on how to tie these two genres together. And I wanted to talk about, there's a lot of things like that there that I think is that parallel to that genre. One, I think the genre evolving throughout the movie is very indicative. Also, there's a very obvious commentary that blues music, of how blues music evolved throughout the film and throughout history, which I think is a cool parallel. But on top of that, Ryan Coogler does the impossible, and he combines period piece, musical, horror seamlessly and perfectly.
Yeah.
In the same way, he broke ground with that. Yeah. He broke ground with that, with Sinners on that.
Yeah.
In a totally different aspect, he breaks ground with two aspect ratios that never have been used together and brings them together for the first time and does it seamlessly and beautifully.
Yeah.
This was the first time we've ever seen a 70 IMAX 70 millimeter
in the Panavision
and dual to the Panavision and move back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's done on a masterclass level of just heightening the moments.
Yes, that's a great point.
And getting every moment where the aspect ratio pans in and they merge the instant chills every single time.
Because it enhances the moment.
Yes.
It's not just there as a gimmick.
Yes.
There's shots where, for example, it's honing in on the main vampire villain and the shot widens. And it gives you chills because it enhances this crucial moment that with this character in a way it's perfect. It's done perfectly. Yeah. It doesn't feel gimmicky ever. It always feels purposeful, and it just serves the story. It serves the character. It serves the moment so well. I was blown away that he chose to do that, and it worked this well. Because it could get gimmicky really easily.
Yeah.
People could try to do it all the time, and you could feel like, all right, this is jarring. Never feels jarring. Always feels purposeful.
Yes. Yeah, it was something I thought about that, like, I was thinking about. I was like, well, it's kind of cool that the genre of the movie is fluid, like in the way Ryan depicts blues music. Mm-hmm. And then I was really thinking about, well, if anything, it's super cool, like, that he combines these genres together seamlessly and these two aspect ratios. Like, I think like that's really cool. But you were talking about the villain, right? We were going to get into that. I have one complaint about this movie. One complaint. That's not even a complaint. Dude, I want to see more of the Native American vampire hunter people.
Yes.
That was like
Where's
the
that
coolest
subplot?
Introduction I've ever seen to like a subplot that
doesn't go anywhere.
And it sets the movie up great where they're like, yo, it's dark. We're getting out of here.
Yeah.
And I think like that's pretty cool. But I want some more.
Give me something like that.
That's pretty cool. Like I don't want there to be any additional. But like I was like, oh wow, I wonder how they're gonna play into the rest of the story. They don't. But totally,
which makes sense.
Totally fine.
But, yeah, it's fine.
But they were really cool. It's
That
a very
was
cool world building thing Ryan did there. Mr. the Cougs,
friend of the podcast.
The Mr. Coogler. Main vampire. Well, before we do this, social commentary. What did you think of the social commentary in this movie?
I was thinking a lot about this, and I think this was done so tastefully.
Yeah.
Because what I noticed was I didn't notice the social commentary on a deeper level until I came out of the movie and really thought about it. And I'll explain it in this way. It felt so intricate into the characters, and it felt so seamless, and the dialogue felt so well woven in with the social commentary that it felt like it was just a part of this character, a part of the world that we were in, and it just felt very immersive of the time period and kind of what they were trying to say with it. And it was so tasteful that I think it actually elevates this movie a lot. I think it's relevant to this movie. I think it enhances the script, the dialogue, in a way. It enhances the villains. I mean, they do some really interesting thing with the villain. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And kind of this dichotomy between different people groups. And it's just done in such a way that's subtle but impactful that I came out of it being like, wow. Like, I think that's probably the best use of social commentary I've ever seen in a film. And I think for me to come out feeling that way in a dramatic musical vampire like slasher is just, that's such a positive to it. Like, that's mind-blowing to me. Because, I mean, we've seen social commentary done in very different ways in other films, and they each have their own kind of perspective. But in this perspective and what he was trying to do, I think it works very well for this movie. It doesn't feel like it's beating you over the head. It feels very purposeful, and I love that about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I feel that same way. I think it's the most tasteful it's ever been done. I think it makes Barbie look terrible.
Yeah.
It makes at projects like that. This is how you should do social commentary from now on. It annoyed me coming out of the movie, seeing all the people who complained about the social commentary. Because I just, like, there's no way. I'd never felt like I was getting slapped.
That's so confusing.
Yeah.
I've never felt that,
I've never, throughout the whole movie, felt like I was getting slapped on the hand or getting hit on the top of my head.
No.
Like, pay attention, you ignorant person.
Yeah.
It is just so great.
I think
I came out very, my eyes widened, which I think is what you would want.
Yeah.
You know? And that's not the type of response Barbie was trying to elicitate with what they were doing. You know, they were trying to pander to a very specific person in a very specific, view.
And trying to preach a very direct message.
Yes. Whereas this isn't preaching, it's just, it's showing.
It's just relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant and
it's showing
I love the message. Like, I love the message, and it gets deeper with the vampire or Rimmick,
and that's what makes
character
it so much better.
Being Irish, it gets really deep at that point because it's way beyond skin color.
Yeah,
or not way beyond, but it's not as deep as skin color.
Yeah,
it's deeper than skin color.
Yes,
it's cultures and
acceptance
and
losing individuality to conform to a collective. Like there's so many more complex things here than just color, and I love that. I think that adds just more to this. It makes it more relevant and even wider than just what maybe we've seen with like a Barbie or something like that, which is very direct. And it's done very well. It's tasteful, and it's done cleverly by adding in this vampire aspect. Like, you wouldn't expect that. You would expect this just one-note villain, vampires being vampires, but because he just writes it so interestingly, to your point, them being Irish and knowing the history of some of that, and you kind of like educated me on some of that, just makes it so much better, and it adds this layer.
Well, and his character doesn't know discriminate. Like, he's not from the South.
Yeah.
He's from Ireland. Mm-hmm. He came from Ireland. Like, this is a different concept to him.
Yes.
And he knows the oppression they faced in Ireland.
Yeah.
And almost sees like a camaraderie with some of the characters in this movie
who are also oppressed.
Right. And it's just I want to talk about one scene, and it just floored me, that just made me absolutely think this movie is incredible. It's in 10 out of 10. It's going to be the best movie that comes out this year. And it's the message that, in my opinion, that this movie's trying to get across, which is in the specific moment you have let's talk about the one shot. We see all these different cultures and all the different ways like these cultures contributed to music and things like that, right? When Rimmick shows up, he presents what sounds like a sweet deal. He's like, we'll all be together. We'll all be equal. We're equality. We're kindness and fellowship and love and family. We're all together and equal and join. But what you miss out when everyone joins is they lose on the individuality and what's so interesting is he's selling this, hey, this is good, this is what you want is equality, and for the ultimate message, you have basically he's turned multiple different people from multiple different cultures and backgrounds, and what are they all doing out in the field next to the juke? It's not this celebration of everyone's individuality and culture. It's not this celebration of equality. Everyone is dancing to his cultural music, The Rocky Road to Dublin.
They all conform.
They're all conform to Irish music. They basically all gave up their individuality
for the collective
and their culture to joined a collective and sacrificed all of it and conformed to his culture and what he loves and represents. And it is done so beautifully because it stands out to you that, well, we said spoilers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So like Michael B. Jordan and Cornbread and some of the other characters in this movie are doing Irish jigs.
Yeah.
And it's just not, you know what I mean? It's just nothing like them.
Why would they be doing that?
And that to me is just the huge message here, which is, being so careful to not be incorrect, but like, it just opened my eyes. It's like how perverted like blues music became, and how we took it and manipulated it and perverted
to what we
wanted it to be,
Yeah.
versus what it was and what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw with what Remick was doing inadvertently, like not maybe even on maliciously, like that's just him. He's like, I seek this and we can all be this together, but like I want what you have.
Yeah.
And I need that. And it's not that, and he like all these people who do blues and whatever, it's not good enough, and man, it's just so good. I love it. I love that comment. That commentary is very, very good.
Yeah.
And done masterfully. Him being Irish and another very oppressed group of people in America, very cool. Giving him a lot of depth.
Yeah.
And just not surface level. It's not as, it's the easiest thing. The most simplest way you could look at this movie is like the bad guys are white and it's like
they're part of the KKK, because that's set up in the movie that there's a
vampire
clan.
is not even concerned with any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that,
but he just gave him Ryan gave him so much more to work with as a character to make him a more complex villain. I've seen all this stuff like Ryan likes writing complex villains. Absolutely.
Yes.
He 100% does. This is probably his most complex. Maybe I should be careful, but it's absolutely a very complex villain. I would not say it's one note or one dimensional, and that just makes it so much better. Because when kind of to your point, like I just love the aspect of like there is an importance to the individuality and the history of your culture. And by not just adding in like African culture, but adding in Irish culture and adding in like Chinese American culture, and like you bring in these people groups to just make this such a more well-rounded idea with the social commentary, and then using the time period that you're in to kind of facilitate that is just so good.
I just love that scene. So maybe we're reading into it. We could be.
I could be like,
but like I just love he's preaching this equality. We'll all be one and family and we'll love and fellowship. And he gets all these people to be on him, and they all conform to him.
Yeah.
And they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And he has pull over them. Now, whether it's just how you take it. That could be malicious. That could be, inadvertent. Yeah. I have no idea. But another really cool concept when we came out of the movie is we saw it with a buddy, and a buddy of mine at least. And
shout out,
friend of the pod, Woody. He's helped us out on the podcast a little bit. But he was talking about the pacing, and we both agreed. We think it's paced perfectly.
Oh,
the pacing is amazing.
I think it's fantastic.
Pacing in this film is just absolutely incredible. You spend all this time with these characters, and I gave this take, and I didn't realize how much I loved. I didn't really realize this until we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Where I was having to defend the pacing.
Yeah.
How awesome it is. You spend so much time learning and sitting with these characters, and you have such a good feel for them.
Yeah.
That after they are turned into vampires, you feel it.
Yeah.
And they're not. And it's not. They're not making in the movie. If you've seen it, it's not obvious. Like they're kind of trying to convince our main protagonist here that they're okay.
Yeah.
But as the audience member that they're not, right? Like they're vampires. But
because of the time that we spent with them,
right?
It wasn't quick.
Yeah.
So we noticed, something's a little off.
Everyone's is the same, but a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I think they all feel masterfully. This is how masterful Ryan Coogler is. I'm going to keep saying it. He somehow takes these characters we sat with the entire first half of this movie and then turns them into vampires and then makes them feel like they're characters, but also like 75%. He makes them feel 75% the original characters and then 25% Remick somehow.
Yes. Yeah.
It's genius. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
They all feel like Remick. Mm-hmm. In a very small way.
Just a little bit of his suave is a little bit of his kind of demeanor.
I also love how unauthentic Remick was.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie, he talks in all these different accents.
Yeah.
Southern, he takes Chinese at some point, he speaks in his traditional Irish accent at some point, talking about his individuality going away.
Yeah.
And him, like, what made that Irish culture special at all, like, is he's conforming to who he's talking to. Yeah. Very cool idea on how to do it. It's just I'm just floored that you were able to take this honestly cheesy horror concept monster.
Yeah.
And then
that could be gimmicky.
Then parallel it to social commentary in such an amazing way and use all the powers to deliver a social commentary that's so impactful. Yeah. And to use the things that a vampire could do to speak a broader message to equality and to the importance of culture. I mean, I'm just floored. Like, I don't know. Superman won't have that impact. Like, this movie is going. I hope enough people see it. I do too. And I know I've heard. I mean, obviously our social medias film and movies, so people are talking about it. But man, it's unfortunate. It needs to be R because. But it does miss on the wider audience because I think it's just a great message. I think it's a great story.
Yeah, a lot of people won't see it because of some of these aspects. And like I said, I was hesitant going into it because of some of that stuff. But I think, it needs to be R. I think it's getting, I hope and I think it is getting enough traction that I think a wider audience who is willing to go see those movies will at least go see it.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people are just not going to because it's R. But I think it is getting some traction and people are going to go, oh, a lot of people are talking about this. Like, my friends are saying this is really good. Maybe I should check it out. It seems like word of mouth is growing. It's so incredible. I mean, even the use of like the vampire lore, like I loved the aspect of having to be invited in. I didn't really know that piece of vampire lore very well until this movie. And it's used so freaking well. Can we talk about the one moment when she finally invites him in, and he just,
shot. There's so many good shots.
There's so many incredible shots. The use of like the colored eyes. Ramick is red. Michael B. Jordan is like purple, and some of the other ones are just like yellow. Like,
I don't know that he's purple.
Yeah, like it's a different color. It's like purple or blue. They're not red.
Haley Seinfeld and him have the same.
No.
Yes, they are.
You sure? His are distinctly purple. Go back and look at it.
That's cool.
And I think hers are kind of the more yellow. The shopkeeper's like a more silver. Most of them, though, I think are like that more just like basic yellow. Yeah. But I maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I distinctly remember Ramick is definitely red. We know that. And I'm pretty sure Michael B. Jordan Stack is purple.
That's interesting. Yeah, the reflective vampire eyes are very, very cool.
Used so well.
It's so sinister and subtle. Another really cool detail I was thinking of today was when Michael. It's so complex and it's so interesting and it's so not gimmicky. In a movie that sounds so gimmicky, it's just not. Yeah. One of the things I'm going to point to here, and it might not be I would doubt anyone would like look at this as much as I did, but there's a scene where in the movie, Michael B. Jordan has to kill let's say Smoke kills Annie, and Smoke kills Annie, and Haley Seinfeld's character, and then Stack, both are like heartbroken.
Yeah.
And that's just so beyond, it's just so beyond like we're vampires and we want to kill you. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like we want to be with you forever and we love you and like we want community and like you need to join us and conform. And the fact that they're so affected by him killing her, like, and it just adds so much.
Yeah, like Haley Seinfeld screaming, like that's.
It adds so much to it.
It does. That's so good. I forgot about that moment.
Yeah, and so there's just so many moments like that.
Yeah.
Just world building, great dialogue, amazing character moments. Like that's a great character moment. It's like the first time in the movie, like, interesting.
Yeah.
They're not just like, I want to kill you. Like, they want to kill you so that you can, like, they can all be together.
And you notice that, too, like, let's talk about Michael B. Jordan playing both Stack and Smoke.
Yeah.
Done so well. They feel different enough that they have that individuality, but still being played by the same actor. It's so good. And to that point, you feel some of those moments where Stack is trying to convert Smoke because he's like, we're brothers. I love you. I want to be with you forever. And he like says that to him, like, come on, join us. Like, I can't do this without you. And that's so perfectly done between their dynamic. And you see the moments, and ultimately towards the end of the movie, he ends up not killing, Smoke doesn't kill Stack, like, because it's his brother and he can't do it. I mean, I know there's kind of like the moment where Stack is trying to kill Smoke and he stopped from it, but like that just adds more to it because Michael B. Jordan is not just trying to kill his brother because he's a vampire. Like you said, they're not just killing for the sake of killing. Like, he's killing because I want to live immortally with my brother. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's
so good.
So much better. Like, it's so cooked. Like, he cooked so much more than he needed to.
Let him cook.
And it's just. I've been complaining so much this year that everything's undercooked, and
this is it.
This is like.
This is it.
This is like Michelin. No, I'm not even gonna say that. Like, because sometimes Michelin star restaurant food is like, bummer. But it's a great movie. I like Ryan did. And I've seen it twice. I'm going to see it a third time. We have plans to see it again.
I can't.
You need to see it.
I genuinely cannot wait.
You need to see it again in IMAX. You asked me when I came out of the movie, did I pick up on more things? Mm-hmm. And I told you not really. There were a few things I was looking for that I had theories about, and I wanted to see them confirmed, and they were, but they're not really that much of like a big thing. I just felt like I experienced the movie again.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you the last time I felt like that. I don't know that I've ever had a reaction like that, where it's like, I just need to experience it again. Maybe Dune 2, but I think in Dune 2, I was looking for things like more stuff and wanted
more lore.
Yeah. So it's tough. Like, I think maybe this might be one of the first times I've ever, in a movie, just like,
I just want to experience it.
I need to experience it again.
Yeah.
And to only come at it from that angle, which is super cool.
I think that is really cool.
Sebastian, standing grade. We need a poster.
Please.
I want to put it on the wall.
We're going to put it... where do we put it? Because I feel like we both should have it. We'll put it somewhere. Dude, I need it. What do you think he would use? I think it'd be cool just to have Smoke and Stack.
Him and the gun.
Yeah.
Or
like just
Smoke. All right, here it is. Here's my pitch. Them against the car.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's the exact shot I was thinking.
Also,
them leaning up and passing the cigarette.
Yeah. Oh, that and maybe Remick going.
Like, what if? Hear me out. Bottom of the poster, them on the car. In the background, it's Remick floating.
That would be cool too, but
just subtly.
I love this shot.
Moment.
I like either one of those, but like I think Remick and the eyes need to be in it.
If you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about. But there's this moment where, because the whole the whole plot device is they can't come into the juke joint unless they're invited. That's vampire lore. And somebody finally says, "Come on in, just come in," and it's a shot of Remick, and he just leans back, and he's like. It's a satisfaction because he knows, and then all hell breaks loose.
And then the aspect ratio
changes, and his eyes turn red in that moment, dude. It's so good. Let's just do that on the poster.
It could be that. I want the twins, and I want Remick on there.
Oh, it's so
Haley
good.
Seinfeld's great in this too.
She's fantastic. All of the cast does such a good job.
Oh, everybody's great.
The writing really gives each of these characters good moments. Like, I mean, we haven't even talked about the kid. I can't remember his name. Is Miles? This is introducing him. This is his first role. He crushes it, kills it. Also, incredible voice. Does a fantastic job with his musical numbers. And just like each of these supporting actors have their moments. You care about each of them, and they have some good dialogue. They have enough time in the beginning of the movie to really sit with them. And it's just done so well. Like, you just care about all these people. And as they're turning to vampires or not turning to vampires, like, it just matters to you. And you feel the weight of it. And that's just so good.
Yeah. You're right. It was Miles Canton.
Miles Canton, yeah. Introducing him. Fantastic first role. Found this kid. Incredible job. Yeah. Great voice. Yeah, we need a poster. Let's make this happen.
I'm sure we'll continue to talk about this movie more as we think about stuff. I mean, we're going to see it again.
I'll probably have more things to mention. It's incredible. Please go see this
Don't do a spinoff.
No. And I don't think Ryan will. Just from like the sentiment, I feel like I don't think he will.
I almost think it could be interesting to do something similar maybe in modern day. Mm-hmm. And like do the vampire thing, but in a completely different way.
But how do you do like the social commentary is such a part of this movie that like, do you do more social commentary or does it just turn into an actual horror slasher
I think you
flick?
could do it, just adapt it for today.
I would be afraid it would just feel like a rehash.
No, but come up with a completely, I just meant like in terms of the blues and like find another thing. To look at.
Completely different, but just, I get you.
And then do vampires again in a completely different way.
Yeah. It could work.
I mean, I think you could. I don't care to see it, but I was thinking about that while we were talking. I was like, it might be interesting to do like something modern and then maybe do something like, if you really wanted to tackle it in the future, like something crazy.
Yeah.
And do like this cool trilogy idea. But I don't really care. I don't really want it. I just want this to be like, I can't wait for his next thing. But
have you seen that there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Have we stayed? We didn't stay for the post-credit scene, did we?
No, I didn't think about it. It's not. It's just him.
You know what it
Little
is?
Light of Mine.
Wait, who?
Miles Canton.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing.
Is it alluding to
nothing.
He's waking
it's
more?
It's him grabbing the guitar and like this Little Light of Mine, and he starts playing it like the blues.
What I was wondering is like, is him playing that like a call to more evil is going to approach because of it?
No, because you see his future.
Oh, it's young Miles.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. It's like
I thought it was old.
So in one of the scenes you see him playing in the church, guitar in the church.
Yeah.
It's that.
Oh.
Like you just actually see what that comes from.
So Samuel is young. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know if it was like alluding to anything else. Sammy. Great moment. There's a lot of good moments.
We're gonna make beautiful music together.